In our spotlight, The Wizard of Oz like you have never seen before. This is being called an AI-enhanced immersive experience. It premiered last night in Las Vegas at the Sphere. It's a video posted by Sphere Vegas on Instagram. It shows how the arena breathed new life into the 1939 classic. Now, in order to make this happen, the film, of course, was originally shot for the silver screen. They had to deconstruct it and then reformat it using Google-powered AI to fit that massive 160,000 square foot field of LEDs. Now, this is where the AI comes in. The film's original format, if Dorothy and friends appeared on the screen from the waist up, that, of course, was all you could see in the frame. Well, now, thanks to this AI, you can see the cast from head to toe, and if somebody walked off screen in the original format, AI will reimagine what they were doing off camera so they don't just disappear. Let's bring back our panel here. Of course, when you're sitting in the Sphere, you don't see the big AI-generated image across. We have to do that as a news organization to only show you images that are real. John, let's start with you here. Do you think that this is just a modern adaptation of a classic, or is this something that's maybe a bridge too far, some things need to be left untouched?
I think it's so cool that they're doing this, and I'm dying to get to the Sphere. I'm so bummed I didn't get to see you two open the Sphere. I mean, I think it's such a neat thing to witness. But, you know, it does point up things, not in this particular instance, but in others, like in campaign ads, for example. Is what you're seeing in a campaign ad actually real, or is it AI generated? Is that really the candidate's voice saying dumb things, or is it AI generated? A lot of bad things can happen because of this technology, but for this particular instance, it's pretty cool. I'd love to see it.
Christina, what do you think here? I'm not just reimagining an iconic film, but really any kind of film here. Is this kind of the Wild West, explore whatever we can see, or do you think that this is something that needs to be carefully reined in?
Look, well, I think it looks beautiful. I think there are bigger questions, some of which John brought up about AI and being able to manufacture people speaking and talking that are not saying the words that could spread massive misinformation, cause hysteria, all kinds of things. But also, you know, you had the Actors Guild and the Screenwriters Guild and the Directors Guild go on strike just a couple of years ago because of AI. Taking jobs away from Americans. And so for me, the big question is, I think there's some exploration, but we need some definition, some action by regulators to rein in the power of AI to make sure it's used for good, because right now it is the Wild West. And I think that's dangerous for
Tiffany, what do you think both about this and where it appears the future is going using AI? Are you excited or are you concerned?
Yeah, you know, love it or hate it, AI is here, and it is our future, and businesses will be investing billions and billions and billions upon billions of dollars into AI. They already are, and we're just at the brink. So, you know, I think the important point is that it does need to be regulated, and it needs to be safe and effective and all of that. But this is certainly an interesting trial run. It will be interesting to see if mass moviegoers actually accept the AI modernization of movies. Based on the ticket sales and the positive feedback, it certainly looks like it is trending in a real positive direction. I've heard the Sphere is absolutely phenomenal. I cannot imagine watching a movie, a film in there. It has to be quite the experience. So, you know, people will love to complain and say they don't like certain things, or people just don't like change either. You know, it's kind of hard. But at the end of the day, I think it's a really neat idea, and if you don't like it, you don't have to go see it. You could always tune into HBO and watch the original version.
Jamel, I would love to get your thoughts. I mean, it seems everyone agrees, unsurprisingly, that we don't want presidential candidates using AI to make up fake quotes from an opponent. I'd like to know what you think just about using AI to create art, because even that is controversial. Generative AI, that it might be threatening the jobs of writers and actors, or that some things are sacred, that it's not real art, takes the human element out of it. How do you feel about it?
Well, I think I'm one of those people who likes to complain and dislikes change. I think it's an abomination. I think it's an assault on the very idea of art. Art is as much about the choices you don't make as it is about the choices you make. That's true of writing. That's true of painting, photography. It's certainly true of filmmaking. And the idea, for example, in a film, that you would fill in the gaps is just absurd to me. The gaps are there for a reason. There's a reason we don't see those things. It's part of the experience of the film as it was created. And the notion that you would have generative AI, which is fundamentally using previous things, it's purely derivative. It's using previous things made by human beings to fill in. That's not art. That's not artistry. I mean, for lack of a better word, that's just slop by people who don't have the power of their own imaginations.
Slop is the term that we see thrown out a lot. John, I'd like to get your opinion. There is a debate about how these AI models are trained, essentially using previous work done by people, and those people are not necessarily paid to train this AI. Do you feel that there are ethical complications when we see something like this that a lot of people, not Jamel, but a lot of people do find it looks really cool, but is it ethically compromising to take the work from some other person and then use it to make this larger system where you don't necessarily have to pay anybody for it?
Well, perhaps. Yeah, I know preliminarily, everybody thought Andy Warhol's stuff at the beginning was slop, and now it's art. And art is, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so this is just modern art coming to form. But the point is, I think is very important to me is the previous work, the copyrights, the trademarks, the previous work of the actors and actresses and the directors, is that being infringed upon? That's something that's going to be teased out, and I think it's going to be teased out in courts and in legislation because it's a real issue. And also, the cold hard reality is AI is going to cost a lot of people jobs, especially analysts on Wall Street, and they're already talking about that, and it's going to cost it in other fields too. But taking previously done work and adapting that, there's got to be some sort of copyright and trademark protections there. And you got to look at it in a different light. This is a brave new world, and you got to embrace it.
And Jamel, real quickly, I'd like to go back to you because it does seem like you have the strongest opinion on this. What do you make of Tiffany's point that, okay, like it or not, but it's kind of here to stay? Like, is it, you may not like it, but do you just have to come to accept it at this point?
I mean, I'm skeptical of this. There are certainly areas, I think they're quite technical areas, where AI's pattern matching and pattern recognition power can be quite useful. But the idea that generative AI is going to be some fundamental technological game changer, I think is a lot of hype. And it remains to be seen whether the actual value proposition and the standard economy, and not simply for hyper technical usage, is ever going to match up to what AI boosters say it will. So I'm skeptical of the notion that AI is, and I don't even like the term AI. I'm skeptical. I'm a skeptic.
Fair. And a lot of people are, but a lot of companies are betting very big on it. Okay, Jamel, John, Tiffany, Christina, thank you very much.